Picking up right after the events of Shadowfront Part 1, the battlefield is littered with the corpses of long-dead soldiers, destroyed tech, broken power armor, and twisted metal. Now the surviving members of the Shadowfront regroup in the smoldering ruins. But their enemy? Far from defeated. In fact, they're about to unleash hell itself upon the world. The Catalyst, an experimental doomsday weapon designed to harvest and amplify the extra-dimensional energies of the Veil, has just been activated by the enemy. A blinding white light erupts from its core, and the very fabric of reality begins to distort around it. Wild magical energies are released, slamming into both sides and mutating them in ways they never could have imagined. With great power comes great risk, and this insane amount of chaotic energy is changing the Shadowfront forever. But before our heroes can figure out what's going on, the enemy commander gives the order to attack. And so the Shadowfront finds itself in a desperate battle against seemingly endless waves of superpowered enemies. The tide has fully turned against them, and they barely manage to escape with their lives. As the smoke clears, the main hero finds one of their teammates lying wounded on the ground, having taken a stray energy blast meant for them. But it's too much for the team's medic to handle. This soldier is dying. Then suddenly, right before the hero's eyes, they begin to glow with newfound power. Their body shimmers as reality warps around them. They can feel incredible power surging through their veins, enough to turn the tide of the battle. If they let it consume them, they would become unstoppable. But they know from experience how dangerous such power is. The last time they let it go unchecked, entire cities were wiped off the map. So once again, they're forced to make a choice. Try to win the old-fashioned way, fighting without their full power, or risk everything by embracing the chaos within them and becoming a literal god of destruction. And while our hero ponders their next move, the rest of the Shadowfront regroup, though there's a tense silence between them, as each member realizes someone isn't present. One of their number, a seemingly brave and selfless soldier who gave their life in the previous mission, was actually a double agent who had been feeding intel to the enemy this whole time in exchange for the survival of their family. Their betrayal was only discovered when the Shadowfront found encrypted messages on the soldier's personal device. While the team knows they have to be careful, they also don't have time to waste. The catalyst will detonate in 72 hours and rip a permanent hole into another dimension, which will result in catastrophic consequences for both worlds. They have to destroy it before it's too late. So the Shadowfront makes their way into an abandoned human city. But as they sneak through the deserted streets, the team notices strange things happening all around them. For example, the shadows seem to move on their own or whisper secrets to those who listen closely. As they press on, it becomes clear that some dark, sinister force has claimed this city as its own and is watching their every move. No one has set foot in this place for years, yet somehow it feels like they're being watched, stalked by some unseen presence. Is this just survivors' guilt manifesting itself in their minds, or is there something else at work here? Because if they're not careful, they might just find out the hard way. But before we get to that, you should consider subscribing, because the best is yet to come. As the Shadowfront continues their mission, they soon realize that the Catalyst isn't just a physical threat, it's tearing the fabric of reality itself, opening rifts to other dimensions and unleashing horrors that shouldn't exist in this world. And then out of nowhere, an army of these creatures attacks. The Shadowfront fights back, unleashing all of their firepower. But no matter how many enemies they eliminate, more keep coming through the portal. It's a never-ending stream of nightmarish creatures that seem determined to end all life in sight. But then right when it seems like the Shadowfront is about to be overwhelmed, the energy readings spike wildly. The catalyst is overloading. Whatever happens, the team knows that they need to get close to the weapon, and shut it down before it detonates and tears open a hole in the dimensional veil. But as they approach the source of the energy surge, they find something even more terrifying than the creature horde. The catalyst isn't just a machine, it's a living, breathing entity. And it's evolving, growing, changing, its form shifting and morphing in ways that defy the laws of physics. Suddenly, the enemy commander appears, riding a creature so massive that it towers over the others, a grotesque mockery of a magnificent beast. This is their most powerful commander, someone who was once a hero like the main character, but fell to the enemy's manipulation and is now leading the charge against them. The two strike a heroic pose and prepare to face off in a battle that will determine the fate of the world. As the dust settles and the bodies are cleared away, the Shadowfront finds itself regrouping once more. But this time it's different. Their numbers are low, and they are facing an enemy that is stronger and more ruthless than ever before. They know that they need to act fast to stop the catalyst and save the world, but they're not sure how. That's when the leader of the Shadowfront reveals their plan. They will split the team into two strike teams. One will head to the catalyst and do whatever it takes to destroy it. The other will track down the rogue commander and bring them back dead or alive. It's a risky plan, but it's their only hope. But before we see the mission play out, we should talk about the main hero. They've been struggling to control their powers since they first manifested. But now that they're facing an enemy that's literally warping reality itself, they know they have to push through the pain and embrace the chaos within them. As they tap into their abilities, they feel a surge of power unlike anything they've experienced before. But it's a double-edged sword. The more power they wield, the more they lose themselves to the darkness. And with each passing moment, they become more and more consumed by the chaos. And now the time has come for the two strike teams to go into action. Both teams face perilous journeys filled with unexpected obstacles, betrayals, and heartbreaking losses. Meanwhile, back at the main base, the enemy closes in, determined to destroy the Shadowfront once and for all. It is a race against time as the two strike teams fight their way through hordes of enemies to complete their missions. But will it be enough to save the world, or will the Shadowfront fall apart before they can stop the catalyst? In the end, the heroic self-sacrifice manages to seal the catalyst from the inside, preventing it from detonating and tearing open a hole in the dimensional veil. But in a final twist, something follows the main hero into the rift, something that was sealed away along with the catalyst. Could this be the beginning of a new threat? What will the future hold for the Shadowfront now? And now you should consider subscribing because the next chapter is already available.